Hello and welcome to Living in Indianapolis, Indiana. I am Evan Deal with eXp Realty, and today we are so excited to head to the west side of Indianapolis. We're going to look at Avon, Indiana. What makes it great? What makes it not so great? You're going to find out. But before you do, be sure to hit the like button on this video so that we can keep making more content like this to keep you in the know on everything happening around Indianapolis. And to be sure you stay in the know, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. That way you're kept up to date with everything happening all over the city and the surrounding suburbs. And with that, let's dive into Avon. All right, pro number one, what can you get out and do in Avon? Let me tell you, they've got some amazing parks in Avon. You know, we've looked at parks in a lot of the different communities around Indianapolis, and it's something that's really important here. Getting out, having fun, and getting out in nature, having that green space, and Avon is no exception, and certainly no slouch in this department. Let's run down some of the best parks. So you have the Washington Township Park. It's got the Whipple Truss Iron Bridge. It's got places to hike for miles and miles. It's got fishing ponds. It's got a splash pad. There is so much to do here. It's a great place to get out with the family, get out, have a walk your dog, and just have a great time. And next up, we have the Avon Town Hall Park, which is sort of downtown Avon. And there's so much to do, so much that's unique. In fact, it's like the only place in Indiana where you can get out and play outdoor table tennis. They even have an RC track there as well, where you can race remote controlled cars. There's so many fun activities there. Not only that, there is a full-on 18-hole disc golf course. So if you're into frolfing, it's a great place to do it. Get out, play, have a great time. And let's not neglect the summer vibes, the water with Murphy Aquatic Park. Great place to go, splash around, hit some water slides, and have some fun in the sun. It's just a really great aquatic center. Now let's talk about the second pro of living in Avon, Indiana. And you may have guessed it, it's the schools. The schools in Avon have a great reputation and are consistently ranked high among all the different school districts and high schools in the state. So the school district in Avon, it was ranked top 10 last year, according to niche.com. And in addition to that, Avon High School was ranked number 14 among all the public high schools in Indiana. The area has a really great reputation for education. And not only that, if you are musically inclined, it has a sterling reputation for musical development. So Avon High School's marching band has actually won like 17 state titles and 5 grand national titles, including just last year. And that's where they compete against everyone in the entire country. So it's an amazing music program in the Avon community, in addition to the outstanding educational prowess of the school system as well. And I know all about the music. My high school, Northview High School back in the day, we lost a couple state titles to Avon too. So it's a big club across Indiana. And thankfully they got bigger as the area developed, and we didn't have to compete against them anymore, but all the Indianapolis schools do. All right, pro number 3 of living in Avon is the commercial district. And I'm calling it a district. It's not really a district. It's Rockville Road. It goes on forever. There is every shopping you could ever want there. That's a chain store. I'm talking everything. I'm shopping, restaurants, you name it, it is going to be there on Rockville Road. It stretches on from Avon to Indianapolis, both sides of the street. You are not lacking for any shoppings at any place in Avon. So if you're worried, in other areas as you're looking that maybe it's a bit too remote, that's not the case with the main drag in Avon. Now, there are parts of Avon that are out in nature, that have fields around it or trees around it. Absolutely, with the residential areas. But when it comes to that commercial area, there's no lack of options in Avon, and it's a great pro in Avon's favor. So the fourth pro of living in Avon, I may have buried the lead here because it's very exciting, is the 500 million, 500-acre new development coming in called the Easton Gray District. And this area is going to be total mixed use from the ground up development that Avon officials are hoping can be the new hub of the city. So there's a lot to unpack here, but in terms of housing, there's going to be 4 distinct neighborhoods that are single family residential, one neighborhood that's going to be a 55 and up community, and there's going to be a 65-acre area of mixed use space called the Riverwalk District. And that has to do with the White Lick Creek that's in the area. That's kind of the Riverwalk. But in that area, you're going to have all sorts of shops, restaurants, townhomes, apartments. So you name it, there is going to be a type of housing here that's available for you. It's really got a little bit of everything, and it's all new development. So if you're looking for new development, this is a really great opportunity, especially if you're looking on the west side of Indianapolis. Avon already has a lot of established homes throughout the area. There are tons of single family opportunities in Avon, and the real estate market, it really does well over there. But this is a brand new opportunity for new development. So Avon is really looking to be competitive in this area with other suburbs around Indianapolis. We've talked about the investments that Carmel's made with their downtown, the walkable historic downtown of a place like Zionsville, Fisher's 2 distinct districts that have been developed over recent years. And with Avon, it's been lacking that walkable downtown. And so city officials are looking to build that and to create that unique cultural hub within Avon, to give it its own identity amongst all of the suburbs around Indianapolis. Not just all the awesome commercial stuff that's available on Rockville Road, but really having that true downtown, where the government of the city will move to as well. It's going to be located at the intersection of US 36 and North County Road 371 East. It's going to be a whole new district, a lot of exciting developments in the Avon area. All right, now let's talk about the cons. And we'll start with the inverse of the last pro. It's that there's no true downtown yet. So, old US 36, it doesn't quite meet the mark of what you want from a traditional downtown. There's plenty of chain stores throughout Avon, but it doesn't have as much of that historic charm, downtown that you see in some of the other areas around Indianapolis. Now that's on the way with the new developments, but those are going to be rolled out in phases over time. So if you're looking for a place with a walkable downtown, rustic charm, that's not in Avon yet. They're working on it. It's going to be developed, but not there quite yet. And that leads me to the next con, which is Rockville Road. So I talked about it as a pro, lots of options for chain restaurants, chain stores, but everything's a chain there. And the road, while there's tons of options, it can get very bogged down at times with traffic. It can get bogged down and backed up. And that can be really challenging. You're trying to get to the store or whatever. It can be a little slower. Not only that, if you're looking for more unique options, more boutique, more antique, any kind of teak, it's just more chain in its identity. It's a little more corporate in its identity on Rockville Road. So if you're looking for something that's maybe a little bit more unique, a little more specifically local, Avon is a little bit lacking in that area, but it's on the way. Con number 3 for Avon is a little different than a lot of the other areas we've talked around Indianapolis, and it's the empty spaces. So there are entire tracts of the Avon area where you have like industrial warehouse and fulfillment center type big box places that are surrounded by empty flat fields and land. And it's a little unique in that regard. There are other areas of Indianapolis that have that, but Avon's got it in spades. It's not in the residential areas. It's not in the main commercial areas, but a large portion of the Avon area has this. So when you're driving around, when you're navigating the area, you'll see it. You'll see it when you get out into the countryside of Avon. It's these huge fulfillment centers, and they're not the most attractive thing to look at when you're driving through those areas. So the natural, sort of land in Avon is very flat, as much of central Indiana, which makes it ideal for these types of developments. And they are practical in utility. They do bring some jobs to the area. They're just not the most aesthetically pleasing, and you do have to deal with the trucks in those areas. But they don't really affect the main residential areas of Avon. And the last con of Avon, it's going to sound funny because I talked about new developments earlier, is that it's starting to shrink a little bit in terms of the amount of buildable land. So we talked about the dedicated new developments, but there's been a lot of growth in Avon over the past 20, 25 years. In fact, the population in the late 90s was around like 2,000 people, and now it's like 25,000 people. And so you've seen a lot of the areas already be developed in Avon, which leads you to fewer options in the area. And you'll see this around Indianapolis, where you have sort of the central ring of Indianapolis. But over time, that's expanding, where the population is building up in all of the all the suburbs around Indianapolis. And so the areas around that ring are starting to build up. So Danville, which is to the west of Avon, you're starting to see that population starting to increase. We talked about it on the north side with areas like Westfield above Carmel, Noblesville above Fishers. This is the way the progress around Indianapolis is happening. It's sort of radiating from the central core of the city. So you're seeing a lot of the areas in Avon itself already developed and starting to fill up. There's not quite as many opportunities as there has been in the past for that new build, for that new neighborhood. And a lot of the neighborhoods that exist are under an HOA, which you see in a lot of areas around Indianapolis. So that was our look at Avon, Indiana, the pros and the cons. On the whole, it's a really nice place to live, just off to the west of Indianapolis. It's an easy commute downtown. It's really a commuter community. Say that 5 times fast. And there's multiple ways to get downtown from there. And there's developments on either side of it. You have Brownsburg above, you have Plainfield below. It's easy to get down to I-70 and get anywhere you want, east and west, and just to skip over to 465 as well. So really tremendously placed. Quick trip to the airport. It's just north of the airport in Indianapolis without having to deal with the airport noise. So really great location, great developing communities, exciting new developments on the way. There's really not much to not like about Avon. So that's all for us today. Before you go, be sure to hit the like button on this video if you found it helpful. Hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you can stay in the loop on everything happening in and around the 317, the Circle City, Indianapolis. This is Living in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Evan Deal. Thanks so much for watching.